Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. We are from Group 1. We will present the result of our discussion about critical journal review with Roth's Law. The next is about us. First, I am Amalia Sabrina as a moderator and my friends. My name is Yudhini Purba.
My name is Nurul Alia.
Okay, for the introduction, we will present by Nurul Alia.
Okay, in introduction there is a background. Roth laws is one of the basic principles in physical chemistry that explain the behavior of an ideal solution, especially as it relates to the vapor pressure of the components in the solution. Introduced by Francis Manning-Roth in 1887, this law states that the vapor pressure of a substance in a solution is directly proportional to its molar fraction in the liquid phase. The purpose: this paper aims to conduct a critical review of journal or literature that discuss about Roth's law. By conducting this review, it is hoped that a more comprehensive understanding of the concept and implication of Roth's laws. The next is journal identity. The journal identity of main journal with the title Roth was right after all. The author is Anthony S. Wesley. The volume is formed. The journal type is ACS Omega. The page is 12:848 until 12:852. The year published is 2019. The publisher is ACS Author Choice. The journal identity of comparison journal with the title dissociation must be taken into account in Roth's law. The author is Amparo Gomez, Siurana, and Sergio Menendez. The volume is 100. The journal type is Journal of Chemical Education. The page is 4106 until 4108. The year published is 2023. The publisher is ACS Publications. Next, give it to the moderator.
Okay, thank you. And the next is summary of journal. We will present by me. For the journal one is Roth was right after all. This journal aims to re-evaluate Roth's law in the context of modern chemical research. Roth's law, proposed by Francis Mary Roth in the late 19th century, states that the vapor pressure of an ideal solution is proportional to the molar fraction of its component. The author argues that although this law has faced criticism and is considered less relevant in some contexts, its basic principles remain valid and important for understanding the behavior of solutions under various conditions. The first part of the journal explains the history of theoretical basis of Roth's law and its significance in chemistry. The author reviews the various criticisms that have been leveled against Roth's law, including inaccuracies and in non-ideal and complex systems. The results show the Roth's law remains valid in many real cases, especially in solutions that are close to ideal or in conditions where the interaction between molecules are not very complex. The author finds that this law is able to predict well the vapor pressures of solution, although there are some exceptions in systems with strong interactions or in the case of very dilute solutions. The author discussed the finding in the context of existing criticism. Anthony explains that although Roth's law is not always perfect in an ideal system, revisions and adjustments to the law allow for wider application. The author also discussed how this law can be integrated with more complex thermodynamic models to provide a better understanding of solution systems. The journal concludes that Roth's law remains relevant and useful in current chemical research. The next is the journal second. The second journal is dissociation must be taken account in Rhodes law. In this journal, it states that the lack of an explicit expression for calculating the vapor pressure of electrolyte solution may lead to misunderstandings by some readers, and a very simple exercise is suggested to demonstrate that the need to consider dissociation. When Rhodes law is applied to aqueous solution, it's clear that the mole fraction of water available for vaporization must be taken into account. However, the calculation of the relative amount of free water per mole of solute and the actual amount of entities from in solution per mole of solute that may differ from the stoichiometry values if the salt is not fully dissociated or if there are interparticle associations of the solute is beyond the scope of the conducting chemistry course. Nevertheless, at that level, the Van Hoff factor must be considered when Rhodes law is applied to electrolyte solution. In this journal, some simple exercise for proof were conducted, and it was found that the calculation of solvent vapor pressure requires the application of Rhodes law considering dissociation. Although not all introductory chemistry textbook contain an explicit description of how to calculate the vapor pressure of electrolyte solution, dissociation should be considered if Rhodes law is to be applied in an entry-level chemistry course. Okay, and next about discussion will present by Kedia.
The next is discussion. In this session, we discussion about excess and the excess of the main journal. The first is the journal introduced a model that defined Rhodes law by taking into account the hydration of water molecules in a solution, thus extending the validity of this law to highly concentrated solution. The second is the proposed model is applicable not only to organic solution but also to electrolyte solution, which demonstrates the very flexibility and wide scope of the model to describe the behavior of the solution. The third is the author used a simple mathematical approach with two basic assumptions, making this model easier to understand and apply compared to other semi-empirical models such as Pitzer. The fourth, the results of this model are in accordance with existing empirical data, especially in solutions such as raffinose, sugar, and glycerol, thus adding to the validity of the proposed model. And the deficiency about the main journal, the first is this model, although it can be used on various types of solute, may have limitations when faced with very complex solute or systems that have more complicated interactions such as polyelectrolyte solute. The second is some part of the model still require empirical value such as equilibrium constant for hydrated water molecules. The third, validation of the other more complex experimental system or condition may be required to ensure the robustness of this model under a variety of conditions. The fourth, the proposed integration model uses the assumption that water molecule bond to each other in a hydrated layer. The next is the axis of a comparison journal. The first, this journal highlights the importance of taking into account Van Hoff factor in the application of Rhodes law to electrolyte solution. The second is provide easy to follow approach, including simple example of the problem using aluminum sulfate salt. The third, this journal addresses a common misconception among students and even teachers regarding the application of Rhodes law to electrolyte solution. The fourth, this journal is relevant for basic chemistry education because it highlights how inward teaching can lead to fundamental misunderstanding and provide solutions to address them. And the fifth, the journal is published under the CC BY 4.0 license, so it can be accessed and distributed freely. part comparison journal. The first, the use of a single salt as an example may not be sufficiently representative of a wider variety of other electrolytes. The second, the first in this journal tends to be too simplicity when applied at a more advanced level of chemistry study, especially because it ignores some factors such as ionic and water-bound association. The third, although the journal presents detailed theoretical calculation, no experimental data is provided to support the assumption or prediction of steam pressure and boiling point calculation of electrolyte solution. The fourth, although the journal focuses on teaching basic chemistry, readers who want a more in-depth explanation of the behavior of electrolyte solution may find the approach too shallow and not in-depth enough.